You know, every parent has got those cute stories about their children when they were small. I want to share a story with you about my son. It's been about 6 or 7, really cute at that age, naughty little boy. And something went missing. If I'm not mistaken, it was a sort of a corporate gift that I was giving to clients back then, a little rugby ball, a little stress ball. And suddenly this whole bag of balls went missing. And I suspected that maybe my son had decided to liberate me of these cute little rugby balls. I go into his room. I first ask him whether he's got them. Of course, being a little boy, he lies and he says no. And I said, listen, you better tell me because I'm going to come and look. He said, no, I haven't taken them, Dad. Butter wouldn't melt in my mouth. I go into his room, and as I walk into his room, he says those immortal words, don't look under the bed, Dad. Of course, under the bed is exactly what I'm looking for. The innocence of youth. He's trying to cover up his crime by telling me where I shouldn't be looking, which is obviously where the things I'm looking for are. And why I'm telling you this story is because it reminds me of a situation that South Africa finds itself in now. Now, you and I, as South Africans, we are all deeply depressed about this place. It's a mess. The economy isn't growing, crime is through the roof, corruption doesn't seem to be getting any better. Maybe the corruptees are getting better at it. We seem to be siding with all the wrong countries of the world, and South Africa quite firmly can't do anything right. We even lost a rugby match to Australia. Like, things are pretty desperate. And I started to wonder why. What is causing this? Why do we all feel so down? And it then struck me. We have got a very bad government. We know we've got a very bad government. But the very bad government is doing something worse than just being a very bad government. They are lying about what they are. They're lying about their own performance. They are lying to themselves by telling the whole world that, hey, no, South Africa's a great place. We've got it all sorted out. They still believe that this is the country of Nelson Mandela, where, according to Nelson Mandela's own words, he'd be spinning in his grave if he had to see the South Africa that his successors have created. A country ravaged by crime, corruption, maladministration. This is not the country of Nelson Mandela, but yet the ANC wants us all to believe that this is still the country of Nelson Mandela. When President Ramaphosa bestrides the global stage like a colossus, I think he wants everybody to see an industrialized country, the most industrialized country in Africa. But what are those people seeing? Those people are seeing a country that hasn't improved in 30 years, when the infrastructure that was set up then is still the infrastructure we use today, except that some of it is missing and most of it is broken. Water pipes leaking, railway lines gone, can't keep the lights on. But yet, President Ramaphosa wants to behave like this is still that country that they inherited. When he's telling other countries, talking about human rights, other countries, taking countries to international courts of justice. 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 We had a president sit in the Oval Office telling everybody that we have got murder without consequence in the country. And yet this is the country that wants to lecture the world about justice. We had a Zondo commission uncovering corruption on an industrial scale. The president sat there and said the ANC is accused number 1. Damn right it is. Because it was their members stealing money. But where's the justice? Who has gone to jail? Nobody. Who's even seen the inside of a courtroom? A few minor players. They're boasting about how well they're doing because they've recovered 11 billion rand in stolen money, when more than R1 trillion was stolen. This is a country where the president wants to lecture first world countries on democracy. First world countries where everything works. And here we've got a country where 50% of our population doesn't work. Where he gets up to open the national dialogue by saying, we want you to ask why clinics don't have medicines. We know why the clinics don't have medicines, because people have stolen the money. It's not hard. Stop asking the questions. Stop telling the world, don't look under the bed. You're not a 5-year-old boy. We can see what's going on. What we have right now is a government that is not fit for purpose. The world changes. It doesn't stand still. Time moves on. This is not 1994 anymore. It's 2025. And the expectations have gone up. Other African countries are getting their game together. Trade deals are happening all around us. South Africa is going backwards. In fact, it's got so bad that some ANC members have decided to take to the microphone and say how badly the ANC is doing. What does the ANC do? Suspends them. Says they can't go and talk to the world. Can't tell them how bad things are. It's ill discipline. Why is it ill discipline to tell people the truth? However, we've got to say, look who suddenly found their voices. The disgraced police minister, Senzo Nkunu, who's been suspended from his job. Suddenly he can talk about the ANC must improve their performance. This is the same guy that wouldn't investigate crimes, and he's a police minister. Who else is talking? The wonder criminal, Malusi Gigaba, the guy with fingerprints all over the Zondo Commission. His wife even testified against him. That's how bad he is. Yet he can say that the ANC must do better. In fact, they should have been in coalition with MK and EFF. Well, of course he would say that, because that's where all of his criminal buddies are. Who's the latest one to chime in? Probably the person who's done more damage to South Africa than anybody else, and that's former Minister of Foreign Relations, Naledi Pandor, addressing a women's league the other day, saying, yeah, ANC should go back to our core values and principles. What's your core values and principles? You were in charge of foreign affairs when you decided to take Israel to the International Court of Justice. Great. Why didn't you take Russia to the International Court of Justice? Or doesn't it matter? Is it only when it suits you that the justice must be served? Why have you done nothing about Sudan when you were foreign minister? It's selective justice. It's selective application of our moral standing. Don't look under the bed. Now we've got a general. He goes to Iran. Says, we are with you in the fight against all the oppressed people of the world. Oppressed people. How about children that fall down pit latrines? Aren't they oppressed? When a government official decides, I'll pocket the money rather than build those toilets that are being paid to build, and you do nothing about it. And yet a general who can't even protect his own soldiers, he can't even get them out of the DRC, is telling Iran that we're prepared to stand by you. If I were those Iranians, I'd be wetting myself. If this mob is going to help you, stand toe to toe. Those Iranians might think better of that offer, and they may want a different solution than having this particular army helping. They don't even have planes to get their own soldiers out of the DRC. Now, we all want what's best for our children. It's time to start thinking of governance. These are the people that run our country. I want to ask you, in the hands of this ANC, do you see this country being a better place for your children? Because I don't. You know, the world is moving so rapidly towards the fourth industrial revolution. And here we've still got people like Julius Malema talking about the means of production as if it's 1867. How can people like that be in Parliament? How can you as South Africans vote for people like this? They are not fit for purpose. You know what terrifies the ANC most of all, other than losing their place at the trough, is that on their watch, every other country is looking at us and saying, oh well, what a pity, this is just another failed African country, where you've got to pay a bribe to a cop when he stops you. You've got to buy him lunch, where the trains no longer run, where the ports no longer work, where the ministers have to go overseas to get medical care because they can't trust their own hospitals, where our ministers send their kids to go study overseas because they know that the universities are so bad in this country. That's where we're heading. Don't look under the bed. I mean, things are so bad, we even lost a rugby match to Australia. I mean, you're going to struggle to get things much worse than this. We are seeing looting now in just about every ministry that is run by an ANC minister. They had a problem at higher education. We've got a compromised minister of human settlements. Our police minister has been suspended. We've got a minister of higher education who's 1 month into the job, he's already on corruption watch. Minister of Tourism, Patricia de Lille, allowing massive corruption and then protecting the corrupter. It's crazy. When the president looks at this, what does he see? Or does he just refuse to look under the bed himself? You know what needs to happen in South Africa? We need to make a commitment to being a world-class country, a first world country. We've got to understand that when you've got a street pole, it should be straight. When you've got a traffic light, it should work. Those are the minor things that countries are judged by. Those are the things when South Africans go overseas, they are absolutely gobsmacked by. The fact that there's no litter, the fact that the trains run on time, the fact that there are trains at all. So if you want to know why you're so depressed, look no further than the fact that we've got politicians that are unfit for purpose. That when somebody walks into our bedroom, those politicians say, don't look under the bed. Because they know that they are trying to hide stuff that nobody is falling for. All those years ago, me as an adult speaking to my young son, as I walked into his room and he said, don't look under the bed. What is his expectation? That that's going to work? What do you think's going through my mind? I can't not look under the bed. Of course I know it's there because your actions have betrayed you. South Africa has lost its moral standing. Our foreign affairs are available to the highest bidder. We are at our low point. Last week, a poll came out giving the ANC 20%. I can't see how they get that much in the next election. When you run a city as badly as you run Johannesburg or Kuruleni or any of these other metros, you don't deserve to be returned to power. I think it's time that we start having honest discussions in South Africa. Stop trying to help this party stay in power. And just thank them for their service and let them go out to pasture where they belong. Thank you for joining us on the State of the Nation Weekly Update. Subscribe to the State of the Nation. You'll keep us on the air. We'll see you again soon. Thank you very much.